what if our coach was doing that with other people after they just got beat? Would we be happy? No, then people would be angry. But I loved seeing Doug Peterson on the field yesterday. Love that he got an ovation. I never doubted it for a second that he would get an ovation, but it was great seeing him hug Jason Kelsey and hug Lane Johnson and hug Dallas Goedert and hug Jalen Hurts and see him and Nick Sirianni exchange words, obviously, after the game. That was a great moment. But as I'm taking it all in after the game and processing what I just watched and watching the Eagles being down 14-0 in the first quarter, and Jalen Hurts had one of the probably his worst throw of the season on that interception. Oh, it was deflected. It shouldn't have been in that spot. Double coverage and late. Nothing good happens when you're double covered, when you're throwing into double coverage and you're late on the throw. That is a horrendous idea. That was Jalen Hurts', in my mind, no question. It was his worst throw of the season. And then they go down 14-0. And I'm thinking, all right, let's see what you're made of, boys. It's early. It's not the second quarter yet, where the Eagles are the greatest NFL team in the history of the NFL in the second quarter. And what did they do in the second quarter? Well, they absolutely dominated in that second quarter. They put up 20 unanswered points in that second quarter. And then they held their own in the third quarter again with a scoreless third quarter. And then they ended up winning the fourth quarter, 9-7. So they still, they won the game, which was great. But I'm watching that comeback, and I'm watching them go down 14-0 first. I watched the Jacksonville Jaguars have an amazing point swing from the opportunity to go up 21-0 when Trevor Lawrence overthrew Agnew down the sideline, who had the coverage beat for a touchdown to put the Eagles down 21-0. Overthrown, same possession. Trevor Lawrence goes to escape the pressure in the pocket. Whoop! Ball slips out of his hands. Fletcher Cox jumps on it. Eagles go down the other way, score a touchdown. So now instead of being down 21-0, it's only 14-7. And then the Eagles defense forces another 3 and out. You get the ball back, you score another touchdown. You get the ball back again, you score another touchdown. And the Eagles are up 20-14 at halftime. And I'm thinking to myself, this Eagles team is special. They just faced adversity of being down 14-0. And I know the elements are the elements, and the Jaguars are playing in there too, and in the same elements and all that stuff. And the Eagles have the advantage that they're at home, right? That's great. But still, they're down 14 points. They didn't trail this season. And then they are trailing, looking up at the scoreboard going, all right, well, we better get it together. And they got it together. And then they win this game. And I'm thinking to myself, they're not just 4-0. 4-0 is great. 4-0 is the end of sentence. How's the Eagles season? Perfect. Like that should be the end of it. But it goes beyond just the record. And for me, watching this team play at 4-0, watching this defense kick it into high gear and play a lot different than what we saw how they started last season. They're actually aggressive. That James Bradbury pick, and we'll get to that in a second, but that was a result of a blitz by Jonathan Gannon. They sent 6 on that pressure. That was impressive. That's how you force a young quarterback into a mistake. So that was awesome. But watching this season, the way the defense has stepped up, watching Jalen Hurts be essentially the MVP of the first month of the season is pretty damn nice when you're the offensive player of the month. And I'm watching an attack. I'm watching this team attack. I'm watching this team bounce back now from adversity like they did in this game. And I'm thinking, this team isn't just 4-0. This team is special. When you see the different things that have taken place so far this season, and yes, we could all look back at week 1 and say that they didn't show up in the second half, but they offensively were able to maintain, and Jalen Hurts basically won that game for them with how well he played in the later stages of that game, escaping blitzes, not turning the football over. We can talk about how well they played against the Vikings, how the defense stepped up in that game, how Jalen Hurts played phenomenally well in that game. We talk about the Washington game and how they were just great in that game, end-to-end basically is how that one felt. And then you look at this game, and they had to come back from 14 down early in this game. They did what they've been doing all season long. So if you want consistency, that second quarter is pretty consistent for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then their defense just takes over.